Lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
Tyson Fury was interviewed, I think, before the fight, and was asked, if we never get to see you and Anthony Joshua fight in the ring, is it allowed to be considered a disappointment for boxing fans? He said no. He thinks, he's done so much for boxing that British boxing fans don't have the right to feel disappointed if it never happens.
We were talking about the same kind of thing of Junior with Ricky Hatton all over again. It's the one we wanted to see.
Yeah.
I think it'll happen.
2026.
I think it'll happen. I don't know when, but I think it will happen. It's already happening. They're already both past the best, in my opinion.
No, undoubtedly, yeah. I think
they're already both past the best, but it'll make for an entertaining scrap. And
still be kind of an even fight, though, isn't it? Because it's not like there's a huge age gap between them. One's taking more punishment than the other, really.
I've always thought Anthony Joshua would stop Tyson Fury, but I can't keep making that statement now because you have to base it on your last performance. And I just think AJ's last performance, I still can't get my head around that Daniel Dubois beat him.
Yeah, I mean,
he just came out and put it on him. He just walked right through him. And I just think if AJ would have met Daniel Dubois head on, he's better in every department. I think the biggest thing for Anthony Joshua is himself.
Yeah.
If Anthony Joshua just comes out and lets his hands go, in my opinion, he's the second best heavyweight in the world. If he just comes out and lets his hands go.
Lets the handbrake off and just lets his hands go.
Just let the hands go and don't worry about nothing.
There's more and more talk of Anthony Joshua fighting Jake Paul. I'm hearing Eddie Hearn talk about it. I'm hearing actual solid talk.
Are we really going to call that a fight?
I mean...
Those are the words of Tony Bellew, stating that he feels Anthony Joshua is the second best heavyweight in the world. He feels that Tyson Fury would be stopped by AJ, and AJ needs to let his hands go, and it's all about him at the end of the day. My counter to this is Tony Bellew is absolutely spot on. I couldn't say it any better. I mean, it sounds like he was listening to me because I definitely just heard him. So you have to go on your last performance, though. That's the only thing that you have to realistically go on. You know what I mean? Well, what did he recently do? What have you done lately, right, in the sport? What have you done in your last performance? How did it go? How did you look? And AJ got knocked out by Danny Dubois, and that does bother me, not because I'm a fan of AJ. It bothers me because I'm a fan of the sport. AJ's supposed to be so much better than Danny Dubois. Like Tony said, in every department, you're looking at, okay, well, damn, I think he's faster. I think his punch delivery's better. His punch placement's better. You know what I mean? I think Dubois' jab is better, but I think that's based on the way Dubois commits to his jab. You know what I mean? So his jab may be a little bit, he may have more snap on it, but I just don't see that. I just don't see how he ran through Joshua. And if Joshua wasn't at himself that day, well, damn. You know what I mean? It is all about him. So it does depend on which Joshua shows up. And I think we can prove that even or furthermore in the future when we see him in another fight. You know what I mean? And he does knock somebody out like he did Francis Ngannou. The last time we saw him when he knocked out Francis for like 2 minutes or so. It was some scary shit. So, it's crazy about that, AJ just has to let his hands go. Is he the second best heavyweight? I wouldn't agree with that shit because, see, I think what we do as journalists, I don't like to say reporters, kind of can't stand reporters, but, interviewers, guys like us that have platforms. We only talk about a certain amount of competition. We never talk about the Caballeros or, the Frank Sanchez's. And there's so many different fights that could happen that just don't happen because people don't want to take the risk for it to happen. That what we end up talking about is the same shit. Oh, AJ, Tyson, Fury, AJ, Deontay Wilder, Tyson, Fury. We got these fights. We have these fights, Usyk's in there, and Usyk pretty much kicked every ass to make a name of himself. And then up until the time he beat Tyson Fury, he still wasn't really respected as a heavyweight until he did so, right? But so he had to make his own way into that conversation, but the conversation always revolved around the same people. And what we need to learn about the Turki Al-Sheikh takeover is when all of these fighters were introduced to fights that normally don't happen, they either talk about being happen or in talks to happen, but don't happen. But then they started actually happening. The people that we thought that were going to win did not win. You know what I mean? Those fights were totally different than we thought they were going to be. You know how many people thought that Tyson Fury would beat Alexander Usyk just based on his size and never really gave Usyk a shot just based on that? So they had already had canceled out a possible wins and outcome for Usyk. So it wasn't even really a debate or a discussion seriously because of what people's perception was. It was crazy. So, then we start seeing these fights like, well, damn, that didn't even go the way I thought it was going to go. Everybody thought Wilder was going to beat Parker, just for an example, right? So I think that's the issue with, he's the second best heavyweight, AJ. If AJ fought Caballero and lost to Caballero, and then he fought someone like Frank Sanchez and lost to Frank Sanchez, people are now, they would be worried more about, no, don't fight no more, AJ, because they're worried more about the stock and the popularity and the, what's the word? Popularity of the fighter. I know there's another word I was thinking about, but they're worried more of that. More about the fighters overall, the way that people look at them, right? And so I don't know about that second best shit, but I can tell you this. AJ letting his hands go, it has to be an incentive for him to do so. Because if he was going to let his hands go, he would have done it in the Dubois fight. I mean, I know he threw a good shot because I know what AJ was trying to do. What AJ was trying to do, sticking his tongue out, talking shit at Danny Dubois, what he was trying to do, he was trying to tire Dubois out. Dubois had dropped him 2 or 3 times, and what he was doing was, I'm waiting for this right opportunity. I'm going to roll that dice like we're talking in our corner and land that shot to take Danny Dubois out, and it's going to be biblical. That's what he was thinking. I already know that, but it didn't happen. He landed the shot, but he couldn't responsibly, defensively take care of what he needed to take care of to keep landing that shot. He would have stopped Dubois because I predict, looking at what Dubois did against Alexander Usyk now, if you think about it, if AJ would have landed another right hand on Danny Dubois probably, he wouldn't have had to knock Danny Dubois out. Danny Dubois would have been like, bow, oh, fuck this, let me get out. He would have took a knee. He would have took a knee. If he would have got caught again, especially in that corner, if he would have got caught with another right hand like he got caught from the beginning of that exchange, he would have took a knee. He would have voluntarily said, fuck it. But it's up to AJ. So I don't think that AJ would have had that mindset. I don't think he's not that dude from 2017 no more. And AJ, I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think because he's already discussed how I'm not going to fight like that no more. This shit's hard work. I'm 18 stone. I'm heavy, right? So, I don't think that that's going to be him anymore. It had to be something. Maybe the Tyson Fury fight would bring that out of him, that made him look, this is my true rival. This is the rival within my generation, and this is my time to shine. You know what I mean? I beat the guy that beat Wilder, so I don't have to fight Wilder type shit. But I would like him to fight both as well. Not just Tyson Fury. I know that's a British thing, but I want him to fight his U.S. rival as well in Madison Square Garden. You guys tell me what you think of Tony Bellew and his assessment on Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!